Board meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start with the committee reports. Dog control, no report received. Justice report.
No report received. I wasn't sure if the judge was going to be in attendance.
Understood.
Highway.
Just hit some of the high points. Got an agreement with the Village of Homer. We do swaps and trucking and stuff. We did our road sweeping this year. Also, we've got a 284U agreement in front of you. I'd pretty look at that. Consider passing resolution accepting that. Also, I asked for to pass a resolution to purchase the Ram that we talked about the last 2 meetings. We put the money aside for, basically saying that it's going from the pickup to the Ram. Everybody's under agreement that that's the plan. The deferred comp, I was just talking to Jen about. She said that was passed back in September, so I think we're all set there. Just got to meet with the deferred comp people and the employees. And yeah, Amnesty Day. Friday went real well. Saturday kind of damp. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions for that. We did have 5 dumpsters of and 2 of tin that went back. So let's see what that shakes out to. The tin is works to help pay for them hauling the trash. We don't haul the trash. It's not worth flat tires at the landfill, to be very honest with you. So, any questions?
Can you give us a brief explanation of what the 284 agreement is?
Yeah.
I know we talked about it
Yep.
a couple months ago, but
So the 284 is basically an outline of the general work that we're doing this year, what roads we're going to be working on, where some of the funds are going to come from, because there's permanent repair funds, state CHIPS funds, our general repair funds. So basically outlines so that, come September, you're saying, well, why'd you pave that road? Well, this is the roads I intend to put money into. It's also on the back, it talks about equipment to a small degree, but this is just a framework. It can be modified at any time. Usually I do it this time of year because I try to get the roads swept and look at them. Doing them in January, you're going to change them because different roads blow out, different ones, you find other issues. So it's worked the best, this time of year. We just literally 2 weeks ago finished sweeping roads. Now you can get a good look at them, see which ones need, major work and just chip seals and like that. So that's basically what the 284 is. So, and like I said, it can be modified at any meeting going forward. Next month I come in and say, hey, this road, we just found a major issue, or we need to put all our money into this.
a flood event or something. Yeah.
Something like that, or
Something,
even find a
yeah.
culvert collapsing or something. Oh, we got to throw money at that. So that's basically what it is. So, and it basically takes the numbers that are within that, pull it out of the budget, the different areas, taxes, and fund balance, things like that, plugs it in. There's the general repairs, permanent improvement, and then your the the bridges, it mentions the grant that we got. And by the way, speaking of that, I was talking to the DOT. Don't anybody in this room hold their breath. They anticipate finishing the engineering next year for a 2028 build. So that's frustrating. It's a 4-year process to get this grant through. It's maddening to me, but that's
For which bridge is that?
Curry Road,
Oh, okay.
right there by the tracks,
What year?
2028.
Perfect.
And I got the grant. It'll be 2 years ago, August. We've had it just about 2, and it's gonna take 2 more to get it, basically. 1.5 million. And that's one of the resolutions we passed last year was that it's a reimbursement grant that we gotta put the money out, and then 60 days, we get that back from the state. So, but the engineering process is in full swing. And then the equipment purchases and repairs, that number is everything combined. And then the last one, item 4, is snow and ice removal. And that's everything. That's machinery, sand, salt, labor, lock, stock, and barrel. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you.
If anybody, I was having the fire training, if somebody else had any other questions? Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Take care.
Would it be appropriate to do a resolution for this now? Or wait, I don't know. We can do it now. Then.
May as well.
Yeah.
It's gotta be signed in duplicate.
What's that?
It needs to be signed in duplicate. So, yeah, you can do it.
So, would anybody like to make a motion to execute the 284 agreement with the highway department?
Make a motion to execute that. What was it, 84? 284. Agreement. The 284 agreement.
I'll second it. All in favor?
All right. You need to sign that now.
You can't do it that way.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Recreation.
You know, I've gone over everything 3 times and ready to start in for the 4th time. Just keeps popping right up. I swear the dandelions seem to come in and they say, "Duck, here he comes." Pop up after I leave.
Thank you. This Kevin's probably not here. Let's see. All right, so we'll skip the county legislature. Zoning and code enforcement. We're not going to read out every inspection that he's done, but it's all there for us to read. I can give you an update on Dirk Van Patten's completed 3 of the 6 courses that he needs. He can only go as fast as the state allows. They only open the window for him to do the next module of training every 3-4 weeks or something like that. So he's going as fast as they allow him to go. So he's completed the fire safety portion, which was module 2, and that that'll allow him to do the fire safety inspections. I think he's going to start doing some training with Ben on Wednesday at the Mountain View. The Mountain View sale did go through, so they've started doing some work there, and they want to get code enforcement in there now to make sure that while they're doing their renovations, that they're addressing anything that might pop up rather than find out later. So they're being proactive, which is good. So, and yeah, I guess that's it for zoning. Planning board meetings Wednesday, the 27th at 7. What? Oh, Kevin is here. We will pause and rewind just a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Kevin. We're ready for you.
You just want you to
I don't
sit
want
down.
to. I don't want to waste your time. So.
Oh, no, you're not wasting any of my time. This was a Scott and stuff, so that kind of went a little long. So what's happening? Well, we're having some special meetings tomorrow because we have to get some things approved and then up to the state for home rule for the county. First one is, so let's go back a little bit. So when we lost our county administrator for retirement, we were then really taking a look at where the county is and the residents as a whole. And there were some things that were done at the county with the county administrator that left that kind of put us in a hole. So what we decided this time was to really go out and be strategic on who we hire for this. So we went out with a professional recruiter to search out for a county administrator. Our county administrator, I think you've already met him. I brought him up. Mike Ponicello had all the credentials in the background and the experience to move us where we needed to go. So we did that. And then we were very strategic when we hired for a grant administrator. What we did was we took a look at all these other counties, and all these other counties were bringing in millions and millions of dollars of grants. And Portland County was stagnant. We weren't doing it, which really hurt. So we now made a position. We now hired a grant administrator to start bringing in those funds. So far, since she's been here, which is less than a year, we've brought in over $2 million in grant funding for the county and for the municipalities. Cortlandville, they received $500,000 for infrastructure development. So there were those. And then we still did some more strategic stuff. Sales tax negotiations with the city. We were very specific on that one, where the county needed more funding. So the next one that we're looking at, don't roll your eyes at me, is occupancy tax. So occupancy tax has been established since the 1970s. And where it is that the county had another tax added to short-term hotel stays, motel stays for that. That was then pooled for tourism. And it's been working fine, as it is. And it was nonprofits applying for grant funding from this tourism or from these occupancy tax for advertisement and stuff outside of the county to bring them in. The problem that we have with this is that the county has not seen growth in there. There has been growth. I mean, they do bring in a lot of things for Cortland County, but we just have not seen that expand or grow. Cortland County in 2020 census, we lost 2,500 people. So what's happening is that the tax base is shrinking, which is also then cost of things are there, is just putting more burden onto the property owner. Everyone sees that. So what we're doing with the occupancy tax is having a home rule request change through the state. We just have more flexibility with that funding. So the proposal and the rewording of this is that 75% of the first million stays with the tourism, stays with advertisement. That does not change. Anything above that, we are able to use for economic development, infrastructure changes, anything that we can do to help grow the list of things to bring people here to Portland. So that is some of the stuff, growth in businesses, that type of thing. So that is what we wanted to be able to use this for. So that is happening. The next one that we're looking at affects us as a whole as well. So I think I've told everybody once before, is that the state has 4% sales tax for the state. And then the counties establish their own 4%, so we're 8%. Every year we get 3% automatically. It's that last percent that the county is required to go to the state and request every 2 years, that additional 1%. What we had found was when doing the sales tax negotiation, the city of Portland was looking at preemption. What they were looking at is keeping the sales tax that's within the city, which would have deeply impacted the municipality and the county as a whole. They can do that. It's not a big thing. What they would do is they would receive 1/2 of the 3% that's in the city. So they're at 1.5. Well, what they did was they went to the state without the county knowing, and they put in for a 1224 sales tax resolution, I guess. And what that would have done is that would have taken that 1% that we apply for every year or every 2 years. They would have gotten the whole 1% in the city for their preemption, which to me was underhanded. They should never have done that. It's a county tax, and that county tax affects everybody because we have always shared with the municipalities the tax. So what we did is, like every other county does, is we now put a home rule request to lock that 1% for county purposes. Now, the city was putting up that when they said county purposes, that the county was taking that, which is part of our agreement that we already had. It was to lock it in so that, honestly, so that the city couldn't take it on us, because that would have been a very dramatic impact on the municipalities. So those are the two things that we're putting through. We already have the state or the Senate and the Assembly bills on that. We just have to make sure that it is part of the 2026-7 state budget. So that's why we're doing those things. The other thing that I will address the board for is we all know Micron is being built. And the county, what we're seeing right now is that we're getting resignations of highway workers to go drive truck for all night. All I received a contract with Micron for that. And I just want everyone to be aware that there's good things with Micron, and then there's some short-term issues with that. So I just want everyone to where I'm worried about is winter plowing. That's one of my major concerns that I had, is when you're looking at, they're providing them $38 an hour on trucking. And you're looking at Micron not even being up to production or anything until 2035. So it's going to be a long haul, I think, for municipalities. And our state association of counties is seeing that as well throughout the area for it. So I just want everyone, what I've seen, and I want the municipalities to be aware as well, is that there could be a downturn that we see for reaction for that. Does anybody have any questions or anything? No? Apparently, I gave something boring that no one cared about, or I described and told that flawlessly for everybody.
It's okay.
Go with number 2.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we left off with the scheduled meetings for the month or the next month. Planning board, Wednesday the 27th at 7. ZBA will meet Thursday, June 4th at 7. Historian, no report received. Town clerk,
Fees collected in April, $1,174. Dispersed $1,172 to the town of Preble and $2 to New York State Ag and Markets.
unfinished business. Michelle, can you update us on the community engagement committee?
Sure. Hi, everybody. The committee continues to meet regularly. We're looking at a couple events this summer. One thing that did happen though in the last meeting, we took a little field trip down to the parks, and a group of people, 3 people, actually did all the cleaning of the kitchen, the bathrooms, got them all ready for the big Morgan party this past Sunday. Volunteered, went down. Thank you, Chris Vianney, Dave Morris, Nancy Rittenhouse, and they cleaned that entire park from top to bottom. We're getting a list together of all the different small things that we need to improve upon, some roof, some painting, new toilets, things like that. So we'll get the list together for the board of the things that we would like to get working on this summer to improve things down at the park. We're looking at an event potentially in June. We have the Old Timers coming, the Old Timers band coming on, I think it's July 23rd, for a night of music in the park. And again, just kind of assessing different things we can do and kind of dipping our toe into looking at maybe potentially some grant opportunities for recreation in the parks. But I want to thank Smitty for all the hard work he does down there, and Dave, Nancy, and Chris for the work they did at the park. And we'll get together and give you a proposal for a few things that we need to improve down at the park.
Okay, thank you. The community development block grant update. We received 4 bids. We received 4 bids to administer the grant. The board has had an opportunity to this one. So the board has reviewed the proposals. Based on the review and scoring of all proposals submitted in response to the town's RFP for CDBG program delivery and grant administration services, I am recommending the selection of Toma Development Consultants. Following the independent scoring by board members using the established criteria, Toma consistently received the highest overall ranking. All 4 firms submitted qualified proposals and were within the grant's budget limits. Toma demonstrated the strongest alignment with specific needs of the town. Their extensive experience administering small owner-occupied housing rehab programs similar in scope to ours, along with their dedicated in-house team for inspections, environmental compliance, and project management, provides the greatest level of confidence in successful program delivery. In comparison, the other firms brought valuable strengths in areas such as grant administration, compliance systems, and cost structure, but did not demonstrate the same level of direct hands-on experience with this type of housing rehab program. Based on the scoring results and overall evaluation, Toma represents the best qualified firm to meet the town's needs and successfully complete the CDBG program in compliance with all state requirements. So I know we've all had a chance to read that, read the proposals. But I think we're ready to make a motion to award the CDBG grant to Toma.
Make a motion that we award the CBD.
Oh, I guess I can. I can read it. I can read it. I'm sorry. So, Town of Preble resolution awarding CDBG program delivery and administration contract. At a regular meeting of the town board of the Town of Preble held on May 11th, 2026, the following resolution was offered. Whereas the Town of Preble issued a request for proposals for program delivery and grant administration services related to its New York State Community Development Block Grant Housing Rehabilitation Program and received multiple proposals, and whereas the proposals were reviewed and scored by the town board in accordance with the evaluation criteria established in the RFP, and whereas Toma Development Consultants was determined based on these evaluations to be the most qualified firm to perform the required services. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby awards the contract for CDBG program delivery and grant administration services to Toma Development Consultants, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute a contract with Toma Development Consultants, subject to legal review and all applicable requirements. Would anybody like to make a motion as stated?
To accept the
So moved.
to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
With this one?
What's that?
You can put it with this.
Oh, next on unfinished business is the post office. So as part, to continue the discussion we had at length last month, I had the asbestos survey done for the building. It came in under, it was under the request, it was under 5,000. And they did like 30 samples, focusing just on the inside of the building, and they didn't find anything. So that's good.
Real good.
Certainly makes things simpler if we try to do any work inside the building. And I spoke to the representative, the company that represents the post office when they're redoing the leases. So after we started looking for better solution for the post office that is going to help us make the updates to the town hall. I'd like to see get made, like with the ADA, with the wheelchair ramps, and also the court requirements for separate rooms for opposing counsel and jury deliberations and judges' chambers, etc. So none of those things can happen with the post office in its current form and current location. So I talked to several people and to kick around some ideas. I think the best solution is to set them up on the other side of the parking lot out back in a and a finished out shed that, it would be close to the square footage they have now, maybe a little smaller. The post office boxes can stay right where they are, or they can move them to the other side. I got a quote for run the power out there. We would not do a bathroom out there, so that we won't do a septic. They can continue to use our bathrooms. I mean, they're here 4 hours or so a day. So
Are they still interested in having a lease here in Preble?
that hasn't gotten to that step yet. But if we're going to make that space available to them, then I mean we have to make some decisions on, it's like, assuming that they're going to sign a lease for 5 years, are we going to spend the money?
Do they ever do longer than 5 years? Because we put the money into a building like that, it'd be nice to get it covered. You know what I mean?
I think it's always been 5.
It's always been, I only know that it's been 5 every 5 years. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to ask.
Right.
And they're agreeable to something.
Well,
solution like that or not?
that's still at the early stages, but until we're confident that we're going to have a space that we think is going to work for them, and it's going to work, it's a solution that's going to work for us, and that we're willing to spend some amount of money. I mean, I talked to Scott Kennedy about the shed. It's $4,200 to get the power out there. It's $16,000 for the shed shell at like 14 by 34. I think he said was the longest that he could move, because he's going to build it on site and deliver it. It's a lot cheaper for Scott to do it in house. So
They would have it finished, or we would have to have it finished.
I asked him.
Mhm.
He said time is more of the issue. Is how much time they have. I said, if you do the shell, and we can have the electrician go there and do the electrical, and then they can finish it out with like shiplap or something on the inside. So, I mean, it'll be a finished shed. Whether we piecemeal it together out here or Scott does everything there.
Right.
I mean, I feel like Scott wants to help the town,
Right.
He's going to be fair. So, depending on where the price levels are, we'll have to get bids on it, part of it, or I need to learn more about that process, but I would expect it to be in the neighborhood of 30,000 to get a shed out there that is a space that will work for them, with heat pump and the power and insulation. The parking lot's there. We'll set it right on the edge. We won't have to do. I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to do, as long as the post office is going to sign a 5-year lease for it, but the sooner we get rolling on that, if it's ready sooner, they can move out there sooner. Then we can start talking about some other things in the hall. So I don't have any. We don't have to make any motions or anything right now. I just that's what I've been working on as far as the post office and the town hall is concerned.
So are we waiting on them to decide whether? I mean, how do we move forward with this? We got to get an answer from them first. Or?
We need some indication from them that they're going to be amenable. I mean, I don't want to spend. I agree. I don't want to spend money until we know that's going to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's where we're at so far. Yeah, I can't think of anything else more about that. New in the I'm adding to the unfinished business section, getting the records from Gina. I spoke to her for a while on Thursday. And she got back to me yesterday that she has time Wednesday afternoon. So I need some volunteers to go down there on Wednesday afternoon and start the process of getting the town's records back with us
This
Wednesday. She said 1:00. I'm gonna push it to like 2, but I would say Wednesday, 2 to 4. I'll take my enclosed trailer down there. We can load up as much as we can load up and get it here. Some of the stuff is mixed together with other towns. I said, Gina will set you up in the recliner in the driveway, and you could just we'll get 4 or 5 people together and start working on it. I mean, we've got to start somewhere, and it's just
Would she be opposed to us moving them all here and she can sort them here, or is that? do we
that's
have
not
the room?
that's not
No.
practical because she's got 4 or 5 towns. I think she's got 4 now, but I think she had more than that at one time. I think she had 5. So it's not practical. But we can put a good dent in it on Wednesday. So we've been after this for we have been talking about it. We've been talking about it for 5 months. What?
It's supposed to rain Wednesday.
I got an enclosed trailer, and most of the stuff is in her garage. A lot of it is in her garage, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
But, so I will be looking for 2-3 volunteers in addition to myself. So that's it for unfinished business. New business. Amanda Shaw is here from Reelman, Schaefer, and Shaw on Marybell Lane, and I am going to let her brief you guys on the dilemma she ran into. So.
Hi. I own Reelman, Schaefer, and Shaw, and we have been at 7693 Route 281 for 12 years. I purchased the property from Hale Brown, who had a manufacturing business there. And prior to Hale, I believe the Kennedys ran some kind of something out there, selling snowmobiles. And before that was originally Rick Schaefer's mother's diner, Marybell restaurant. So I bought this building 12 years ago to move my practice because I was doing business with Reelman, Schaefer, and Schaefer as my portion of the practice is specific to recovery and foreclosures and creditors work. So we needed to have our files more secure than in a general practice setting. So I moved to the current location, 7693 Route 281, because people don't come to visit us. We come to visit people. Nobody, I mean, there's some people that come, but very few people. We don't have clients that come. I don't meet with people generally in the office. I just have people working, and I have a lot of files. So it's been 12 years, and we have 2 bathrooms, and I have 28 people working for me. And when it's bad, I gotta go home to go to the bathroom. My dad has to go home to go to the bathroom. It's very hard. So I needed to have a little bit more space. So I thought it was easy enough just to add on a little bit of space. So I started this great project in December, and perfect. It's now May, and they give me my plan, and great. I've got like 1,000 square feet that I'm adding on. However, my property is zoned, or the building is zoned agriculture, which, okay, because I'm in the middle of a field, it seems great. But if I want to just add any space, my building is currently a conforming, or
Non-conforming use.
Non-conforming.
it's a non-conforming, but
Prior
it's a prior non-conforming use. So as long as when I remodeled it to, from what Hale Brown used as a small manufacturing business, that didn't cause anything needed from the town. I don't have any signage. I don't have much. And I'm not looking for any additional parking spaces. I'm not looking for anything additional. I'm just looking for about 1,000 more square feet. But anything added to the building creates the need for a zone change. I have spoken to, on the west, Linda Underwood owns the field. And I'll be about 8 feet, I'll need an 8-foot variance for this space. I won't be touching the field, it'll still be 21 feet off, but it's an 8-foot variance I'm gonna need. But I can't get a variance until I get a zone change. So this building has been used since the 50s as a commercial space, continuously. And so because I'm looking to expand it, I'm looking for a zone change. So I'm here to ask the town board to accept a petition for a zone change, refer it to the planning board, and I think you have to refer it to the county, planning board as well. For review, and then I believe you have to set a public hearing date, ultimately.
Would we wait on a public hearing until we get back
Oh, yeah, from the considering,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
and planning board.
from the planning board and from?
Considering, yeah.
And so I provided everybody a copy of a petition I put together. Attached to it is a copy of the deed I received from Town Brown in 2014. It says I have an acre, exactly an acre of land, which the acre is necessary in order to have a park of the commercial, you have to have at least an acre. And then I attached a copy of the site plan that is drawn up with the expansion. And on the back, I outlined it in red to show the space that I'm having to move out. Just so you've been looking at the application. And essentially what the space is that back portion that has the red around it, and you'll see kind of file cabinets in there. Presently, I have that same exact space full of those file cabinets. Right now, I just need a little bit more space so I can have another bathroom and a little bit more space. One day, we have so many files, but one day I'll be able to digitize them, but it's gonna take a few years to do that. In terms of the inventory, so I still need physical space, unfortunately. So if anybody has any questions?
Make a resolution.
To refer it to,
Yeah, make a resolution for to the planning board,
to refer to the planning board and,
the county.
county planning.
Make a motion.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
And you don't need anything from me more right now, do you?
Not right now.
No.
Gotta sit the whole meeting. Gotta sit the whole meeting.
Thank you.
Well, let's say schedule it. I'll say we're not that.
They'll put it on the agenda for the planning. They'll notify her. Sue will do that. So we had the presentation last month on declaring ourselves a pro-housing community. The resolution. Oh, okay. So this is a program through New York State that encourages municipalities to take a proactive approach to housing. Adopting this resolution does not approve any specific development. What it does is position the town to be eligible for certain state funding opportunities and resources tied to housing and community development. Many discretionary funding programs administered by New York State are now only accessible to localities that have been certified as pro-housing communities. Like many communities, we're seeing challenges with housing availability and affordability. This gives us another tool moving forward while allowing the town board to maintain full control over any future planning or zoning decisions. Any project that may come forward in the future would still go through the normal review process with this board and our planning board. We want to have access to these state funding opportunities and resources. With that, I'll ask for a motion to adopt the pro-housing community resolution.
Make a motion that we adopt the pro-housing development.
I'll second it.
Say it. Motion to adopt it as presented. That way you
As-
don't have to-
As I'll make a motion that we accept the pro-housing development as
Presented.
presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. At one of our office hours, Terry Orr came in to talk about radar speed limit signs. We're not talking about changing any speed limits, but potentially getting the radar ones that say too fast, slow down. You know, they give you your speed 45 and a 35 kind of thing. I can think of 3 good spots for that. I've opened a suggestion. I'm sure that many people would have more, but I could think of 3 really good ones. And so we talked about the county line on Song Lake Road, and then down by Palmer on Song Lake Road. Lots of people walk there on those roads, and the commuters go through there. It's too fast, and I know that those radar signs work on me, so I like the idea. I think it would make that area in particular a lot safer. I'd certainly like to hear more about some other spots that might be useful. The other spot is on Atisco Valley Road coming in from the valley into the village, for lack of a better term. But so we're not deciding anything tonight. I'm working on it. I'm getting quotes. I talked to the county DOT, Charlie Sumbrink. Is that right?
Yep.
I talked to him today. He said that any municipalities that are buying them are doing the solar ones. Because I asked him if it made sense to explore tying into the grid. He said everybody's doing the solar ones, so just solar with battery backup. He said he's getting a quote from his supplier that the county uses, but he said you're probably going to be better off just ordering them online, and expect them to be $3,000 to $5,000 a piece. So
I know they do work. There's a couple on 80, one in Atisco and one.
They work.
Tickets
outside of
work, too.
Fabius area.
well,
Just
so
saying, I mean,
my understanding is we have in the past the town has requested the sheriff to patrol some, just like Song Lake Road in particular, and everybody they pull over is a Preble resident.
Yep.
Does that sound about right?
That's
Lake.
accurate.
So
Lake people.
And then we got in trouble because we're picking on the people that live there. And because they were blaming it all, especially like winter and all, they were blaming it on Song Mountain and all that. And so we pulled them over, and sure enough, they're residents.
there is a lot of commuters that zip through there too. I mean well, maybe they live in Preble, maybe they don't, but I mean it's not unusual for people to go through there at 55. It's every morning.
you go past my house 100 plus.
Well,
Anything straight.
anything straight, right?
Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
The difference
And
is
we can buy a lot of these signs.
the houses on Song Lake, the garages and the houses on Song Lake Road are on the road. They're within the
Striking
county.
distance.
They're within the county right away. My old house, the garage was in the county right away. So obviously the cost is a factor. So we need to explore that more, but it's something that was brought to me 2-3 weeks ago, and I think it's worth pursuing.
So who requests the sheriffs? Is that done by Jeff Griswold or?
You mean for patrol?
Yes.
Well, I
There
think,
was like an association that's down there.
I mean, anybody can ask, but I mean, even if but that is such a hit and miss temper. mean, if he wrote 30 tickets in one day, and what? If nobody's slowing down anyway, because he's not there tomorrow, he's only, I just don't. I think the radar things work better than trying to get.
Just a
You
reminder.
got to remember where we are in the county. Like we are on the edge, the farthest edge, and there's not a lot of crime on Song Lake Road. So, like, we're not going to get a regular cruiser in the neighborhood. It's just not going to happen.
See,
We put a
things,
dummy cruiser out there. It did a little work for a while until it wasn't moving much.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah,
we did
like the
find-
scarecrow.
But
Are
we
the
did
signs
find when we
movable?
put our radar detectors that are on the trailers, put them out there. It did slow it down for.
And there, I know there's a big demand for that, and the counties, the sheriffs, they have to go to all
Move 'em
these
around.
villages and and it's a high demand that the towns are asking for it. It's hitting that.
The
We're
ones
doing the ones with cameras. Takes little pictures.
Yeah, and what happens to the picture?
Go to the county. We'll get it. We'll write a ticket and send them to their house.
That's a whole different ball.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
are these things
We're doing it
movable?
on state highway.
Well, no, they're permanently mounted the same way as a speed limit sign is.
I want one.
You
Like
want
the
one?
one going down into Apelia, is that?
Yeah,
that we're
same
talking?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. So,
You can get a price
Like I
and we'll
said-
go from there.
or we could, yeah. I mean, I want to spend some more time on it, but I wanted you guys to know I was working on it and that, I mean,
Now, we did hear that there's some, I think it's the traffic safety, that they do have grants that you can apply for, maybe
Yeah.
for those.
does it take 4 years? I mean, that's what I heard about half an hour ago. I feel like I just heard that somewhere.
Everything's
It takes 4 years.
government work.
Yeah.
By 2035, we should be all set.
I mean, 4 years to request a grant for a new firehouse or something, like, I get it, but, for a couple radar detectors. All right, so moving on. Somebody else requested if there was a spot on town property for a compost site. So I asked Jeff Griswold about that, and he said they already have a spot behind the highway garage that he's fine with people using. I think we just need to come up with some days, times, hours. He doesn't want to show up on Monday morning and find
A mess.
strewn out all over the place. So we'd have to have a couple signs, dumping between the signs based on what Jeff, I mean, it's Jeff's house. So
Yep.
we gotta, he's allowing us to make that
Yep.
work. So, I gotta work with him to come up with the hours, days, and exactly where the location's gonna be. And he said they're dumping stuff there anyway. So if some of the towns, like on the lakes in particular, those lots are really small. They don't have any good place to get rid of their yard debris,
Yep.
leaves and whatever. So,
Twigs.
yeah. So I think that's going to happen. I mean, Jeff, it was really up to Jeff. So,
Talking about Jeff, he had on his highway department report too about a resolution to purchase the Ram 4500. We didn't do that, did we?
Yeah, we did that as part of the 284. when we did the
Oh, that was part of the.
it was part of the
284.
284, which we did that, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next thing is public comments. So we don't have a public comments policy but we talked about, I mean, it's always been that public comments would come at the end of the meeting. That kind of got a little bit sidetracked last month, which I mean, and a one-off is, it's not the end of the world, but should we have a formal policy about public comments at the end of the meeting?
Yep, I'm gonna do the meeting.
At the end of the meeting? I mean, I think it's generally always been that way, but having a formal or policy, or I don't know if it requires a resolution or just an agreement amongst the board. I don't know. Do you have an opinion on?
Establish a policy, you should.
We're going to establish a policy.
You should vote on it. You, just generally speaking, you can set time limits, you cannot set subject limits. So you can say it's 3 minutes, but you can't say we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh, okay.
And I was guilty of this when I was on a board. The thing is, if you're gonna set it, if public comments are at the end of the meeting, then that requires the board to not respond to or take questions or comments during the meeting.
Right.
Otherwise, the policy is pointless.
Right.
And is the public comments at the end a Q&A, or is it just an opportunity for them to?
That is a board decision.
Yeah, right.
Because it says public comment, it doesn't say public,
Discussion.
Debate.
Right.
Yeah.
Interaction.
but that's board, that's up to the
What's that?
board.
Said interaction.
Yeah.
Or debate, yeah, but
Right.
that's a board decision. It's also not really enforceable. If someone decides they're gonna answer questions, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. Yeah. So I guess, do we want to formalize a policy and have a resolution to limit public comments to
A time limit? Yeah.
the time limit?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
3 minutes seems like a long time. When we do a public hearing for like local laws and stuff, it's like, isn't it less than that? I don't remember. But in the past, it seems like it was less than 3 minutes, but maybe I'm wrong.
3 minutes isn't very long.
No, okay,
No, it's
All right.
pretty- Yeah.
you're
3
okay.
minutes.
It goes by very fast.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just trying
Where are
to
we?
kick out
At the end of the meeting?
at the end of the meeting. It was brought up that if we're talking about something during the meeting that somebody wants to be heard on, they have to wait till the end of the meeting and the resolution's already been passed or failed or whatever. So, but we do put out the agenda prior to, so, I mean,
They can meet with you.
what's that?
Just, and because of that, what we started doing as other towns do is, at the beginning of the meeting, you say, you want to speak only about items that are on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Not public hearing, because you can speak at the public hearing.
right.
Save all of the comments to the end. That way people feel like they're heard prior to the meeting.
That's-
You can have a limited purpose one in the beginning specifically to address.
I like that,
items
because that kind of covers us
both
both ways. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So you would have, at the beginning of the meeting, we would have a point where if anybody wanted to be heard prior to the meeting on
The agenda.
the agenda items.
Except for public hearings, because they get to speak at the public hearing.
So this would just be part of the routine after the pledge, right? So I like that idea. I mean,
That way people are heard before you vote.
Yeah.
Without interrupting the meeting.
yeah, sure.
And still have it limited to 3
They
minutes.
still have it limited to 3 minutes. Yeah.
Are we limiting it?
So maybe we'll write that up and pass it for the next. Okay.
It's a good idea.
I mean, does anybody want any more discussion on that? Or we
No.
got
As far as what?
the public comments? We're gonna,
Just
As-
kinda
as
what
we-
we just talked about.
yeah, but
I'm fine with that.
John will write it up and we'll
Right.
pass it at the next meeting. So, there is a lot of discussion in the state and in the smaller towns about the data centers, battery storage centers, wind turbines. There's a lot to digest in that space, so I would like to have the planning board's help with that as it relates to battery storage, data centers, and the large scale wind turbines. I know we did a wind law last year, but it kind of ignored the stuff over 25 megawatts because ORES can trump town zoning ordinance, which is true, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't have anything for them to have to negotiate with the town. You know, having nothing just is an invitation to the big ones. Fortunately, we don't have a proposal yet, but if it goes through in Tully, they won't be far behind right here
And apparently Lafayette.
or right
had-
there.
yeah.
And Lafayette recently updated their zoning ordinance to address the larger ones. In my opinion, we should have more on the large wind systems. And if ORES overrules us, then that's what the courts are for. So,
Well, it allows us to tie them up for a while.
well,
It costs them money.
not having anything is an invitation to get run over by ORES.
If you're gonna do that, you should consider another moratorium.
Yeah, a moratorium. Yeah.
If you're gonna be updating the wind law, it justifies it.
So does anybody, I mean, do we need, what isn't that a moratorium of local law? We have
It's a
to do
local law, requires 239M,
a public hearing, the whole,
and because you just did a local law on when I want to do findings, so that justified it reimposing a
okay,
moratorium.
all right.
But
So
you
we'll
can
do
do
that.
it. That-
So-
Yeah, but that's gonna take a couple months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because, not on my end, but on the public hearing, the 239M referral.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I do think we should pursue that next month to do a moratorium. Well, give the planning board time to work on it. But yeah, so that's all we have for new business, unless somebody else has something else that they dying to talk about. All right. Jen, I think you're up.
Monies received, Portland County Snow and Ice, $10,517.14. USPS, $779 collected. You have the updated information for the board to pay the bills.
Yes. So would I like to make a motion to pay the general fund vouchers, abstracts number 5, number 76 through 99, totaling $20,724.73.
Second it.
All in favor?
Who was the first? Nate?
I guess I made the motion.
You did.
Okay.
Yeah, you were reading it.
Yeah.
And who seconded?
Me.
Thank you.
And I'll make a motion to pay the highway fund vouchers, abstracts number 5, numbers 35 to 46, totaling $22,329.31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I already voted for this. That's it for the agenda. Does anybody have any public comments before we adjourn? Yes, sir.
That compost side is a great deal. Thing you don't on your signs is what's allowed in the compost could be anything from paper to garbage to
Food waste.
household.
Yeah,
garbage
yeah,
to
they will
go
be.
ahead, yes.
So we need to talk about exactly what's allowed and what's not allowed.
I would say so, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I agree.
Be on the
I
side.
don't want to be
Tires.
rats across the road.
Any what?
Rats across the road.
Me neither. Good point. Yes, Amy.
I want to thank Ben for his code enforcement report. It's very detailed and it tells everybody exactly.
Yes, itemized right all the way down through. Very good job.
He's,
I've been asking for 3 years.
Nice change.
we caught a break with him helping us out, and I'm sure
It's a nice footprint for Derek
it's
to
he's
follow.
he's
Yes.
getting things lined up for Derek and to assist him, and I probably talk to Ben 12 times a week. So, anybody else? All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Drinks around me at the mountain.
Oh, actually, somebody's got to.
They got motion.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn meeting.
Motion to adjourn. I'm sorry. Motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll get that right eventually.
We shut that off.